It's the first week in November and the Fall Classic is well underway. In fact, on Wednesday night, November 2nd, history was repeated for only the second time as the Astros pitching staff combined for the second World Series no-hitter in the history of Major League Baseball. Now, whether you're a Phillies fan or an Astros fan, this week we're going to connect Major League Baseball and the first World Series no-hitter to the BSA in this edition of Artifact of the Week. On October 8, 1956, in Game 5 of the World Series, New York Yankees pitcher Don Larson made history as he threw the only perfect game in World Series history against the Brooklyn Dodgers at Yankee Stadium. As a perfect game, it was also the first no-hitter in World Series history and the only one until Game 4 of the 2022 World Series when the Houston Astros had 4 pitchers throw a combined no-hitter. Now, besides the obvious significance of Larson's accomplishment, what ties this event to the BSA is the guy behind the plate, Yankees catcher Yogi Berra. Lorenzo Pietro Berra was born in a primarily Italian neighborhood of St. Louis called The Hill on May 12, 1925. Across the street, another future Major League catcher, Joe Garagiola, was born 9 months later. And on the same block of Elizabeth Avenue, a young Jack Buck, early in his broadcasting career with the St. Louis Cardinals, made his home. Berra's parents were immigrants from Italy, with his father coming to the United States first and his oldest brother and mother following later. As a child, Berra played American Legion baseball on local teams, where he learned the basics of the game, playing in both the infield and the outfield, and most importantly, as a catcher. Yogi wanted to play professional baseball when he grew up. As a kid, he both threw and hit right-handed. Now, his brothers, accomplished athletes on their own that were not able to play, seeing something in his skills and abilities and knowing that he wanted to play professionally, told him he needed to become a left-handed hitter in order to improve his chance of making it to the big leagues. Yogi, taking their advice, started to bat from the left side, demonstrating his true athleticism and skill. It was also during this time that Yogi got his famous nickname. His family called him Lottie, as his mother had a hard time pronouncing Lawrence and Larry, but it was a childhood friend that made him Yogi forever. Here's the story in his own words.
Well, I became when I was 16 years old playing American Legion ball. Bobby Huffman played with the New York Giants. We were on the same club. You know, we didn't have dugouts when we played. We sat on the ground. And I always had my legs crossed and my arms crossed. And they said I looked like a yogi.
In 1942, the St. Louis Cardinals chose Berra's boyhood best friend, Joe Garagiola, over him. Then Cardinal President Branch Rickey was leaving St. Louis to head the Brooklyn Dodgers, and he wanted Berra for his new team. The Yankees stepped in and signed Berra for the same $500 bonus that the Cardinals had offered Garagiola before he could sign with the Dodgers. Years later, Garagiola famously said, "I wasn't the best catcher in Major League Baseball. Heck, I wasn't even the best catcher in my neighborhood." Before Berra could take the field with the Yankees, World War II began, and he enlisted in the U.S. Navy. But unlike many other Major League players that enlisted and played baseball for the military during the war, Berra served as a gunner's mate on the attack transport USS Bayfield and was part of the Normandy invasion force, providing machine gun and rocket fire on the German defenses of Omaha Beach. His boat was later dispatched to Utah Beach, and he spent time after the initial invasion shuffling messages between the beachhead and the command ships at sea. For his service, Berra earned a Purple Heart, a Distinguished Unit Citation with 2 battle stars, and a European Theater of Operations ribbon. Following World War II, Berra resumed his professional baseball career. Despite his short stature, he impressed minor league officials with his talent, and he was mentored by Hall of Famer Bill Dickey, whose uniform number Berra wore. He later said, "I owe everything I did in baseball to Bill Dickey." Berra was called up to the Yankees and played his first game on September 22, 1946. He played 7 games that season and 83 games in the following year. He played in more than 100 games in each of the following 14 years, appearing in 14 World Series and winning 10 World Series championships. He established series records for the most games, 75, at-bats, 259, hits, 71, doubles, 10, singles, 49, games caught, 63, and catcher putouts at 457. In Game 3 of the '47 World Series, Berra hit the first pinch hit home run of World Series history off of Brooklyn Dodgers pitcher Ralph Branca, who later gave up Bobby Thomson's famous shot heard round the world in 1951. Berra was an All-Star for 15 seasons and was selected to 18 All-Star games. He won the American League MVP award in 51, 54, and 55, and he played one season, 1965, with the New York Mets, the only other major league team that he played for. Following his playing days, Berra served as a coach for the Yankees, Mets, and Astros. He also served as manager for the Yankees twice and once for the Mets. So now that you know all of this about Yogi Berra, what's his connection to the BSA? Berra was also a passionate supporter of scouting. In 1991, he established the Yogi Berra Golf Classic, a tournament that raised more than $1 million for scouts with special needs in the Northern New Jersey Council. In 1998, he hit a hole-in-one during the tournament. In a 2015 New York Post article about Berra, the author says that when he arrived at the country club to play for the tournament, he approached an elderly man placing signs around the parking lot, then asked for directions. When the man turned around, it was Yogi Berra. Berra thanked him for participating as if he was doing a personal favor by showing up and supporting the scouts. He goes on to describe Berra driving a golf cart around the course, taking scouts with Down syndrome from hole to hole to meet those that were playing in the tournament. He noted, "These guys have no idea who's driving them around. They're just spending time with a very nice man and having a lot of fun." Additionally, Berra and his wife Carmen established an endowment fund to support special needs scouting and other youth programs in the area. In recognition of his commitment to youth, the BSA awarded him the Silver Buffalo Award in 2003. During his acceptance speech, Berra offered up a classic Yogiism. "It's a real honor to receive the Silver Buffalo Award," he said. "Kids are our future, even if the future isn't what it used to be." During the presentation, Chief Scout Executive Roy Williams took a moment to honor the Hall of Famer. Berra is a true American legend who believes in the basic values of hard work, common sense, fairness, integrity, and commitment, and his good sense of humor has helped to make him an American icon. Yogi embodies the values of the Scout, Oath, and Law, and all that's great about America. This wasn't Yogi's first experience with scouting, as he appeared on the cover of the April 1963 issue of Boy's Life magazine. There's a link to this story in the post description. And here's the artifact that ties this all back to our segment. In 2010, during the 100th anniversary of the BSA celebration, a time capsule display was created. Among the many items included was this Yogi Berra autographed baseball, presented as part of the Northern New Jersey Council's contributions to the time capsule. Note the inscription, "Good luck, Boy Scouts." Yogi Berra died of natural causes in his sleep at the age of 90 on September 22, 2015 in Caldwell, New Jersey. His funeral services were held on September 29th and his ashes were interred next to his wife Carmen at the Gate of Heaven Cemetery in East Hanover, New Jersey. Berra's longtime friend Joe Garagiola died 6 months later on March 23, 2016. His Yankee teammate Don Larson, who was the only surviving member of the '56 perfect game at the time of Berra's death, died on January 1st, 2020. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Join us next time as we continue to learn more about the history of the BSA through the collection of the National Scouting Museum and Artifact of the Week.